So I have tons of questions for you. And I read your email. I know you have a lot of things to share with me. And so I'm going to assume that you are one of my platinum families and really get as much information as I can and then give you something specific that will help your little boy like him, because you are going to tell me who he is. So let's get started, and please describe to me your son.
I don't know where to start. He is a very, very happy boy. He doesn't tend to get stressed over a lot very often. He loves tight squeezes, fitting into small spaces, running and crashing and jumping. Anything that's physical and rough tends to be his best part of play. He doesn't like to play with people as such or with toys. He'll very happily read a book or listen to music, but he will not build blocks or sit and bang a plastic toy or...
So I need one detail.
Yeah.
What is his age?
He's 2.
Okay.
He was 2 in April.
All right. So he's a little baby.
Yes, he is.
All right. So we were at not wanting to play with toys. Can you engage him in play? Like quite often from what you're describing, he may be enjoying rough play, like monster fight. And does he?
Yes, he'll happily engage in stuff like that. But if I try to sit him down to maybe put a shape in a block, or that's not something he just will point blank refuse, he'll just get up and move away. And even if I continue to bring him back, if I do hand over his hand, he just shakes and he'll pull away and doesn't want to participate at all.
Yeah, so strong personality.
Yeah, very much.
Tell me, what are the things that worry you the most looking at the future? Like right now, he's a baby, so much things can happen. But if you think about the further away future, what is worrying you?
Communication. He doesn't, at the minute, if I say to him, where is the ball? Where is your bottle? Things like that. He doesn't respond to simple spoken words, even sit down, come here. Anything he doesn't seem to respond to. He has recently started to get my hand and lead me to things that he wants.
Good.
So I've moved everything that he likes to eat. I've moved into a cupboard where he can reach and took the lock off that cupboard. So if he can open the cupboard, take out what he wants, and then he'll bring that or bring me. He doesn't bring things to me. He brings me to the item. So he'll drop it on the floor and then bring me and put my hand onto it.
Yeah.
So that's, I like that. That's the best way if we get things. Yeah. But then if he's in pain, or if I'm trying to say to him, wait a minute, if we're doing something and it's not quick enough, or say he wants to go outside but he's got no shoes on, things like that, he gets stressed because he doesn't understand me saying, wait, let's put your shoes on first and then we'll go outside. So yeah, communication. Yeah, and it tends to be over that communicating part of if he does not understanding, if he has to wait, or what I'm saying to him, he tends to get quite stressed.
Mm-hmm. So what happens when you say no in any form? What does he do?
Shakes. So it'll start with his hands will start first, and then depending on how long he has to wait or whether it's something he can't have, it'll increase, and then I'll see it going into his body and his head will shake. And if he's left, then he'll possibly bang his head on the floor or bite himself, or
it's not when he's doing
Yeah, he'll shout and scream, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And let's say there is an event and maybe you have to answer a phone call when he starts a fit. How long can it last if you are not able to help?
Not that long, if I'm honest. They don't tend to last. I'd say possibly 15, 20 minutes. It'd be a long time for him to do this for. Sometimes it can happen for 15 minutes and then he'll only have 5 minutes of quiet in a minute and then it'll happen again. Mm-hmm. But he does tend to have that. Sometimes I can't go near him in that minute. If I go over to him, it'll make him worse. Yeah. So I tend to just let him come out of it in his own time, and then when he's up and he's moving about again and he's doing his own thing, then I'll go over to him and it's okay. Yeah. Don't need to stress, and we have a nice cuddle. But yeah, I've tend to found if I leave him, it comes down quite quickly. If I try to interfere at all, it tends to escalate. Mm-hmm. Because he doesn't look for me for any. Once he gets into that, he doesn't look for me, if that makes sense. He's not looking at me as if to say, Mum, open that door, Mum, get me. He just seems to be in his own little world.
Yeah, it makes sense. So he has tactile needs. You are talking about squeezing, going behind the couch, things like that. Are there a sensory processing problem that you notice?
Yeah, he is quite sensory. Food is quite a big problem. He won't put, should I say, wet food in his mouth. Even if he doesn't touch it and I try to spoon feed him, he won't even. So it's not that he doesn't like it, mm-hmm. because he won't try it for me to say, oh no, he doesn't like the taste of that. He just won't even try.
Yeah.
So if I give him, he'll happily eat an apple. I say he tends to bite things, chew it and spit it out. So he doesn't actually consume a lot of food. So if I give him an apple, he'll bite, he'll have a chew of that skin, but then he'll spit it out, but he won't go further than the skin. He won't then start eating the flesh of the apple.
Mm-hmm. Well, that takes quite delicate work to get only the skin.
Yeah, it does.
Pretty talented. I don't think I could do that. So that is still a tactile issue, right? Because from what you're saying, it's not the taste, it is the sensation, so the wet, as you describe it. So tactile problems. So you were mentioning earlier that he likes music.
Yeah, he loves music. It's the one way I can get him to interact with me. If I shout his name, he doesn't respond, but we have a song that we sing. Hello, how are you? Hello, who's sitting next to you? And we obviously incorporate his name into that, but then if I sing that, he'll look for me. But then if I just shout his name, or he doesn't respond to that at all.
So at this point, we are going to have a few Mendability exercises later to help him. Have you sought help with therapies already, because he's so young?
He sees portage service, which is early intervention. So he sees to just really play with him, see how he interacts with different toys and things. Mm-hmm. We have a care plan from speech and language therapy, which at the minute we're doing bucket therapy to try and gain his attention, which is, he can last maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, if there's somebody with him to keep prompting him to sit back down. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it isn't really any type of one-on-one. It just tends to be things that I do with him.
Yeah, well, that's good, because I believe and I tell parents, you are the only expert of your child. Nobody knows him better than you. So now tell me about the issue with sleep, because this is really a huge topic, and you haven't slept for quite a while, I understand.
No, definitely not. He goes to sleep really well, so getting into sleep isn't a problem. We have the same routine throughout from, I'd say, around 4 or 5 o'clock. Once we've had tea, we do bucket therapy. He likes Curious George, so then we put Curious George film on. He'll have his last read of his books, his little mad hour of running around, bouncing about, burn off a bit of energy. And then we call it his sensory music. It is just no words or anything. It's just nice bells and pianos and just some nice music. We'll get on the couch, get his soft blanket that he likes, his comforts. We'll have a cuddle. Sometimes he'll fall asleep there. If not, then we'll take him upstairs. We keep the lights off. He has little bath toys that like little floating things in the bath that light up. So we put them on. He'll have a massage on the bed when he gets out, but he gets very excited in the bedroom. So then I have to bring him back downstairs to get him asleep. So then I'll have nothing on, dark living room. We'll just lie down on the couch together and he'll go to sleep. Mm-hmm. Then when he's in bed, he lasts, I'd say, about 40 minutes. And within that, between 40 minutes and an hour, a definite he's roaming around the bed. He'll sit up and throw himself about. He tries getting under his pillows rather than lying on, or he'll try and get all the way under his cover. He'll wiggles himself down. But then this excites him when he gets under the cover. So then he'll start laughing and gets really excited. And it goes from there. But then if I'm not there, he tends to wake up more. If I'm lying next to him, he just tries to get under me. So he'll push his fingers and his feet and whatever he can between me and the bed to try and... Sounds really strange, but as if he is trying. So I have to, unless I have to have hold something pressing on the top of his head, and hold of his hands and his feet for him to settle back down again.
Mm-hmm. So that process will take how long before he falls asleep again?
30, 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And then will it be asleep for good, or do we have...
No, it's the same again all night. I'd say I get about 40 minutes to an hour. And then it's the same again. If I'm right there, and obviously if I'm not downstairs and I'm right next to him once he starts disturbing, it tends to be easier to keep him asleep. So maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. But if I'm not there and he senses that I'm not there, then it can... And he gets to the point where he can get under the covers and he can start wiggling round, and that's when he gets excited and he wakes up then. And it can be, some nights it can be hours before he'll settle down and go back to sleep.
So you must be very tired.
Yes. And he will not let me turn around either. If I try to turn me back on him, he pinches me and shakes and... isn't very happy at all. So not only do I get no sleep, I have to stay lying the same way all night as well.
Okay, that's definitely a problem we need to solve, right? For him, because the best development of the brain happens during sleep. And if you don't sleep, it can't happen. And for you, because moms have great resilience, they can last, but not forever. So we definitely need to work with that for both of you. Do you have questions first that come to your mind that you want to ask me? And then I'll explain one or two things about his sense of touch issues.
I find finding exercise that tired, because obviously he doesn't understand me verbal instructions. I find it hard to get him to continue to exercise. So he spends 90% of his day on this fast forward mode anyway. So then it's hard for me to find something, any type of exercise that plays to him, that will increase his heart rate or make him tired, or because he is, like I say, very on the go constantly.
Yeah, as you say, does not follow instructions, so it's very hard. Did you try the 2 suggestions I gave in the webinar? I don't know if you remember those. One was to do squats, and thinking about the fact that he likes music, putting some really fun dance music and doing the squats with him as if it was a game or a dance. Because if you can do up to 10, then you have started a very good cardio, and you have used a lot of energy. Have you tried that one?
I've tried, but he doesn't like that holding on to him.
Okay.
That face-to-face,
yes,
forced, that stresses him out. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. And what about going up and down the stairs? I think I understood you have stairs in your home, maybe.
Yes, I do.
So having him go up and down the stairs a few times, the holding of hands is an issue because he hates it, but maybe going behind him, and because he likes the rough play, pretend it's a monster chase so that he can run away from you and then go down the stairs again and start that again. Do you think you could try that one?
I could try. Yeah, I'll give it a try, definitely.
What I like to do always is, once I know the kids well enough, is to create something that works for that child. And this is why I like so much to work with a family face-to-face and see videos of the child, know him. And then we find, as you are presenting your problem, he doesn't like this, he doesn't like that. Okay, we're going to do something using what he likes. And because he likes rough play, okay, let's have physical exercise during a rough play. He'll be happy. He will not, I don't think he will think twice that you're trying to make him exercise. He doesn't know that. So that's a good one that we have that you can try tomorrow. I believe it's nighttime already.
It is.
Where do you live?
We're in the UK.
Okay. I recognize the accent. I wasn't sure. All right. So we have a way to exercise. You want to be doing it, try to do it 2 times at least, ideally 5 times. You too are going to be tired, but as all moms, you do not take care of yourself. You don't take time out to go to the gym. So that will be very... I
could need it,
we all need to exercise. It is fabulous for sleep. And as a mom, you just don't have the time. So we pair the 2 things, helping him, helping you.
Yes.
So I would do it as you are, your routine that works for the falling asleep. I would definitely put it there right before the bath. So that whichever little pieces of your routine that you already have in place, insert the physical exercise, and then go to the bath and feel wonderful.
Yes.
All right. So I would like to explain to you a little bit what I think is going on with his sense of touch and his intense need of more touch than is necessary or is healthy or even safe. Like a 2-year-old who wants to sleep under mom, that's very unsafe. You know it, and it must be very difficult for you to feel that he needs it, but you absolutely cannot do it. So as you may know, if you have looked a little bit and checked my method of working, I'm interested in how the brain works. The behaviors that you describe give me information on his brain. And I am not about changing behaviors. I am about helping the brain do things a little better so that it doesn't have to have the explosions or this very difficult need of pressure. Right?
Yeah.
So what we know about, did you ever get a diagnosis? Did you meet a pediatrician about him?
He's on the pathway to. We're just not quite yet have the formal diagnosis.
Okay. Yeah.
He needs 3 teams in agree, and he has 2 at the minute. So he's just waiting on the 3rd.
All right. So what I believe I understand from all what you're telling me, and also you were kind enough to give me details in writing as well. Mm-hmm. So I dug into it to know this little boy better. But there is one thing that is general that we know about children like this little boy, extremely active, not yet able to communicate verbally, having fits when you say no, whichever form of no, because he doesn't get it and he can't understand your explanation, not responding to his name, but very interestingly, responding to a song. So he is very smart. Like the way you have said, like he drops something and then takes you down to it. I think it's the first time I hear about this kind of communication. And he's very young doing that. So that's fantastic. You also have a wonderful way of dealing and helping with him, because the cabinet that you spoke about, where the food or things that he would like are accessible, so that you are respecting the fact that he is small and that he cannot ask for it. So that's fantastic for that little boy.
Thank you.
So if we look at the whole picture, the one thing that I believe I understand from his brain is that he is missing, he doesn't have enough, let's say, of one of the messengers of the brain. The 2 messengers that I speak the most about are serotonin and dopamine. Why do I speak essentially about those? Is because we are connected. Everything that we do is very scientific, and we have a lot of research saying that this sensory activity, this sensory stimulation is going to prompt the brain to produce more, either serotonin or dopamine. So it's wonderful that nature has made it this way, because there's no medication to increase those 2. There are medication to help, but they help temporarily. And unfortunately, when you take a medication to help with those issues, they come with side effects. Where when you use nature and the way the brain is made, there's no side effect. It's only good. So serotonin is low. He produces not enough. What we know from research, and they have been able to examine infants, babies, adults, is for some reason, even before birth, he was not producing enough. So he is born with less. So he is a baby who already is less comfortable than other babies in life. One of the jobs of serotonin, which is crucial in the issue that he is presenting, which is tactile processing, massive problem, because it puts him in danger, because he wants to be under something heavy, you or the couch or things like that, and it prevents him from eating things that should be very helpful. So it is a very critical situation. Unfortunately, it is also, or fortunately, because we are going to work at making it better, serotonin is also in charge of sleep. So if you don't have enough, your brain cannot process sleep and get into it and stay in it. So sensory processing, serotonin is sort of the translator of the environment. You receive an information, let's say a soft touch on your hand. Your brain receives the information from the skin. It is processed all the way to the top of the brain, and the brain tells you, more or less, we're going to simplify, oh, it's nice soft touch. When you do not have enough serotonin, the same information is mistranslated. And I'll take an example with Google Translate. I contribute a little bit to help French translation to look like they are written in French. And you sometimes see a sentence that is in English, perfect sentence in English, and it's translated in a way that it doesn't make sense or it's absurd. This is a little bit what happens in his brain. There is a bad translation of the environment information. Mm-hmm. So touch is a very important element of our growth and our comfort, in the sense that we can increase production of serotonin in the brain, tells research, by doing soft touch, like a nice caress on the hand and the arm or on the back, and your brain produces more. Mm-hmm. You have this, when your kid gives you a cuddle, you have a little chill and you feel so good. The little chill is the signal that your serotonin is going up. So it should be very easy to help him for touch, but it is not, because we have to reestablish the balance of the translation, right, with serotonin. So what his brain tells him is, we need touch. We need tactile input in order to grow, to develop, and to increase serotonin. But because his translator is wrong, for him, touch is being under the pillow in the couch, being under you, or tight squeezes. His brain demands more than is the reality needed. So that is a very good understanding of him. Why does he want that? Because his brain is asking the right question. The brain says, where is my tactile so that I can increase serotonin? But because it's poorly translated, he goes and gets more than needed. And the issue with that, not only it is not going to increase his serotonin, which we need badly, it is also going to increase his level of stress. Because his brain functions pretty well, in particular as far as all reflexes, like those spontaneous response to the environment. And if you imagine yourself having a giant twice your size lay on top of you when you sleep, how do you think you would feel?
Not very good. Like couldn't breathe.
Yes. And if someone holds you tight, again, we're going to take a giant. We are comparing this little boy to an adult. So if a person was very high holds you tight by the wrist, how would you feel?
Not so good.
And in fact, we have some mechanism within our brain and receiving information from the body to run in case of danger. You feel like, I need to go, I need to run, if you have this amount of information. And his brain is also telling him that's not good, but it's way complicated information in his little brain. So he looks for it more rather than decreasing. And so he's in a sort of a vicious circle. So we are going to start first by helping with serotonin production. So I want to rehabilitate his sense of touch. So we are going to start by things he likes, as usual. For example, is there something he likes to hold? Anything, any object, his bottle, whatever.
A toothbrush.
Okay. He runs around with it, I suppose? Okay. You take a second toothbrush, and then you go, can I touch your fingers? And you very lightly, you do little touches on the tip of the fingers. The hand is okay to receive new information, so it's not going to stress him out. He may be curious and interested. And then you work on it, let's say 4 times a day. We're going to start that way for the next 3 days, right? So the next day you say, can I touch your arm? And again, you go very light, little brushes like that. And if he likes or he smiles, and you say, can I touch your head? And because there is an issue with the head you mentioned, that he likes to have pressure on the head. Yeah. So he is very sensitive with his sense of touch everywhere. So you want to rehabilitate the entire body, basically, right? So you're going to touch his head. At any time when he starts resisting, you stop. It is crucial for us to decrease anxiety, and you know it because you act accordingly. Like you don't say, and now you stop it, because you just let him try to go under you, and you are never sleeping, or the cabinet with the treats inside, or if he comes and gets you, that means that you always come when he gets you. Yeah. So you have built the trust. We don't want to break that at all. So if he resists for any reason, looks at you, pushes you, okay, we stop. Right. Absolutely, right away. And next time, well, you can try again 2 hours later or the next day, because it depends on his mood. And know that because of the serotonin being low, he is very volatile. Like, he can react to things in a negative way very fast, and stress is an enemy for the brain, so we just don't. After 3 days, because he likes the toothbrush, you're going to take his baby hairbrush, the very soft hairbrush, and then you say, can I touch inside your hand? You always ask for permission. The concept of really understand is not what matters for us. What matters is you ask, meaning you respect. If he was to say no, we don't. So you touch very softly the inside of the hand. You say, can I touch your cheek? So very, very light, soft touch. Why do I mention always light touch, soft? Because the part of the skin, the part of our body that gets the tactile information and takes it all the way to the brain to produce more serotonin, is in the top of the skin, called the derm, right? It's basically where your hair are. If you have hair, nobody has hair anymore, but imagine. And the level of pressure is bending the hair. Like in your head, think like that. So it's touching it, but ever so lightly, that if you lift it a little, it would be gone. The pressure that he is asking for in all the different manners, as I said, create a defense response. Even if he likes it, we are not going to keep doing it. We are not going to refuse hugs, obviously. But when he holds you real tight, you start to hold a little less tight. Very, very gradually. We don't want to stress him out again. We don't want to make changes that worry him. But because we are building a plan to rehabilitate his sense of touch, it's part of it. So that everything that would be strong and pressure, and we lift it gradually, and you do the soft touch. At bedtime, you mentioned that you are doing massage, which is a wonderful idea. Can you show me with your hands what kind of massage do you do? Let's observe.
I'll rub inside of his palms, stroke his fingers, We'll do the other side, and literally just have a little touch and a little soft stroke of him.
Okay, soft stroke is what I like. That's wonderful. So keep it that way. I don't want the too tight, too tough, because again, that would not go in our plan of rehabilitation. So perfect. You are doing massage that way. It's just wonderful. So we are going to start creating for him a tool that will help with serotonin production. We want also to use a sense of smell so that we can increase something else that researchers have told us. We increase dopamine production by smelling something that we like. So when we speak to parents about smell, if you look at the videos, you are going to see me use essential oil. And unfortunately, parents feel, okay, that's what we use. And what happens sometimes, if the child likes it, and after a few days they bend over and they may touch a little vial. First, they are going to resist because they never had a small bottle come close to their face. So they don't know what that is. So they go like that. And parents have sometimes the feeling he does not like it, he pushes. No, he just doesn't know what you're doing. Yeah. So what you will do is you put a drop on a piece of tissue, you fold it in a little tiny square, and you come near him and you hold the tissue about here, and you just vent like that a little, and you give him kisses and you touch his hair. So you produce serotonin with a soft touch. And because he is breathing, he is smelling. And we never want to rush in. Because it's good, we're going to do it right away, that way. Okay. Again, respect. And this little boy you describe, a very strong personality. If he refuses once, I suspect he would refuse many more times, and it would make it very difficult to happen. So we don't come near the nose, because if you are using an essential oil, it's plenty molecules around his face. We don't need to go near the nose. However, what you will do gradually, you would go, and then you will just hold it far. But because you have shown that it's really nice, he may gradually want to go there and see for himself. So because it's him, right? Every child, we're going to do it in a different manner, but knowing him, that's how we're going to start, right? So whatever we do with that sensory enrichment is a change forever. Like it's a change for life. It's not a scale that we gauge. So you don't want to rush in, as I said. We want to go very gradually and build from what he shows us, what he likes. So I would not worry as far as food yet. But as long as he is full of energy and doesn't lose weight, you're pretty safe. No, there's no need to diversify. We have to. No need. Right now, don't bother about it, because we're going to work on those two elements, the sense of touch and smell, which are the two things that lead us towards food. And obviously, there are things that he likes because he has a little cabinet for himself to go get stuff. So we could be smelling a cookie next time, or when he is ready to sniff. You need to know as well that children, like your little boy, do not have a sniff response spontaneously. Their brain does not know yet how to do it, but they learn extremely fast. So that's why if you go too close, he wouldn't know what to do with it anyways, right? So we are like that until he makes some moves and wants to do it. So these two, if you are able to do it I mentioned 4 times a day of an intervention of soft, gentle, using the toothbrush because he likes it, then moving to something else. And maybe within a week, and usually when I work with a family, I speak with them after 1 week to say, okay, how is that going? Right? Within a week, maybe 6 days, let's say. You are going to take a fruit from the kitchen and you wash it, of course, and then you ask him, can I touch your hand with it? And now we're going to start discovering textures of fruit. So can I touch your nose? And you just do a little dab. Can I touch your ear? So you go places that are never touched by a fruit. So it's new. He is very small, very young, so his brain is starving for new things. As long as we bring them with respect, with gentleness, no precipitation, then gradually you can expand and expand his catalog. So he will have less apprehension, but also every time you are doing the sense of touch, I would say the right way, his brain is learning. Oh, that is okay. So you probably within time will see that he goes less behind the couch or will ask for less heavy pressure. That the good thing about sensory enrichment is you can see what's going on pretty quickly. Like there is a change gradually that happens. And as I said, when it happens, it's for life. So it's worth going slow, right?
Yeah.
So we are having a way to exercise. We are going to work on serotonin and dopamine gently, slowly, but often enough during the day. I would not go more than 4 times. What also is a very important recommendation is when you do those little interventions, they last 1 minute, maybe less, because he doesn't stay in place anyways. So maybe when he's watching his movie, you can go and say, can I touch your hand? Right? Because he's sitting already. Or when he's having a meal, if he's in a high chair, use the moments that exist. You can't force him. No, not this little boy. And if you were trying, you probably tried, he will tell you, don't.
Yeah.
Right? So, what do you think of those first things I have told you? Do you have questions about them?
No, I think that's all pretty straightforward. Yeah, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with all of that.
So we are, I believe you may have listened to the webinar because you said there are things that you couldn't do, the webinar on sleep.
Yeah.
So the concern I have with the type of sleep he has is that it's not at all restful. And there is an element missing for sure that causes full wake up after a very short time. I believe that the exercise, the physical exercise, is going to take a little chunk of that issue already, because as you exercise, one of the things that you do is you bring oxygen to the brain, so that the brain, as I mentioned at the very beginning, the most work the brain does is when we sleep. And the brain needs food and it needs oxygen. So now tell me about the evening meal or the last snack of the day. What is it?
Usually he'll eat a dry cracker or maybe a rice cake with yogurt on the top of it. A cereal bar, anything that tends to be dry and crunchy. Chewy, he'll eat like dried fruits fruits. So he won't eat a wet fruit, but he'll eat like a dried piece of mango or things that are, he doesn't tend to swallow them, but he'll have a good chew on it. But yeah, most of it'll be dry piece of toast.
At what time is the last food?
It depends what time. His bedtime will vary depending on how early he's been up, how his sleep was the night before, what time his nap in the day was. So it's while George is on. So I'd say between an hour and 2 hours before he's going to sleep. Okay.
We're going to try to bring him closer. Or you give dinner maybe a little earlier. So that he is, after exercise and bath, he will feel like eating, and provide enough of variety so that there is enough food in his stomach. You're right that the mango chewing gets a lot of good stuff, in particular the sugar, which is very important for sleep. We need that. So anything that is going to contain slow carbs, like the dry cookies or the cereal bar, if he stops too early, like you really want to almost count calories to make sure that hunger is not the reason for waking up so often.
Right.
There are all kinds of reasons. I believe the lack of exercise is one. We solved it. The anxiety, the stress, we are working on it with the soft touch and the smelling. You are doing the music. We are going to bring the music into the bedroom already, unless it's there.
No, I don't bring the music in the bedroom.
You just bring your phone, and what you do, I don't have a box here, but you put your phone into a container. Like a plastic box without the top. It amplifies the sound. It's absolutely magnificent. You don't need equipment. Of course, if you can afford equipping the bedroom with, but otherwise, the phone in a container does the job. You want to use symphonic music, orchestral music, of course, something that is a calm pace, slow pace. We do have quite a few. And even if you go on YouTube, Mendability music, you'll find slideshows. So you are not going to look at the slideshow, but you're going to be using the music. So it's already chosen for you. You just listen to that one piece as you do the massage. So we sort of boost up serotonin production there with the music and with the massage. The little tissue that we have used all day with the scent, we're going to slide it in the pillow. And because he puts his head under the pillow, you put it on the bottom in the pillowcase. We use him, right? If we put it on the top, he won't smell it. So that he has nice, soft scent during the sleep period. As we know, as I was mentioning, smell is helping you focus, feel good, has many virtues, but we need that for sleep. And I would recommend you put some on your pillow as well. You do need that. Okay. So the bedtime routine is, as you said, we are going to focus on the food. Make sure that you can check for his size and maybe ask your pediatrician, what is the amount of calories for my kid? That would be ideal. You don't want to be noting everything down. You just make sure that everything is in there, in his body. If one of the piece of food is a candy, okay, we need sugar. I don't like the dyes or whatever, like nobody does. But they're very...
No, I think he must be allergic to dyes. Anything that he's ever had that's had any type of colouring in, he comes out in a rash. So we completely avoid colourings with him anyway.
We should. Absolutely, I agree with that. So dry fruit, I have an issue with the dry fruit because it doesn't swallow.
Yeah.
So he gets something, no doubt. But have you tried to chop it really tiny and give it to him? And what happened?
Yeah, if I change the shape to what he's used to, he won't. If I cut anything up, he won't touch it.
That little boy, we are going to fine-tune everything to him because he is so brilliant. Okay. So we exercise. We have the bedtime routine. We have the music with the massage. Then he falls asleep. We have a scent and the pillow. We can switch off the music when he falls asleep. And right now, he prefers that you are with him. We're not going to make a huge change.
Yeah.
But is the one side of the bed against the wall?
Yeah.
So try to sleep your back to the wall. And you put your two arms on your front so that if he wants to be, he can be under your arms, which is okay. And you can do a little bit of pressure at first, like tonight or for the next 3 days. But he has something. He needs something. But it's a mistake of his brain. So we don't want to keep it there. So we are going to be very gradual. And so you don't give him the option to go under you. You can even put your leg up so he has your leg, 2 arms. You cannot sleep, I know, but you're used to it for now. But we're going to sort of disintoxicate his system from needing the weight. So I think we have a good start here. When he wakes up, maybe you're going to be for the next 3 nights staying there, trying to sleep for the 40 minutes or not. He wakes up, you're still there. When he wakes up, soft touch, kisses, very low voice. And I don't know if you noticed that in your house, but I noticed with therapists and parents that people tend to speak loud to children who don't speak at all. That's something you may have noticed that. And that's, it's almost a reaction like everybody. And when I mention it, that's true. I'm screaming most of the day. So when he wakes up, even if he is loud himself, you go, like you whisper. It's very soothing. Even if you don't sing well, sing a lullaby to him. And you caress him softly and you whisper, you sing until hopefully he falls back. I'm confident that with those few things we are already starting doing, your few coming nights are going to improve. I hope so. And I want to hear every detail of it. Okay? So how do you feel about this plan?
That's definitely good. If he wakes up in the night, and is there any reason that he's so excited? Because he tends to when he wakes up, it tends to be laughing. Sometimes he can just be hysterically laughing and there's no light in the room, so it isn't anything that caught his eye and he can just uncontrollably laugh and laugh. My feeling from what you were describing initially is that in fact it is not sleeping, like his body is sort of relaxing. He has the first phase of the sleep, but when sleep should start to be deep, there is a moment when there are different cycles, right? You have a piece of sleep is made of different parts. So the first part you can still move just in
So you could still move, but then you relax, your body feels heavy, and then your brain produces something very magical that prevents you from moving at all. Like some people wake up sometimes during that phase, and it's a bit frightening because you are fully awake in your head, but your body is still unable to move. I'm fearing he's not reaching that phase. So he wakes up for some reason at that moment, so he's still fully awake. So it's not surprising, it's not worrying, unless your doctor says, okay, we're going to check how his brain is working at night, but he is happy and sometimes he falls back to sleep. So let's not worry about more until we solved normal sleep and see what happens. You want to take notes of everything you change and you do to make sure you don't forget anything. And if you had to go visit the pediatrician, maybe to weigh him or something, you can show this is our plan and the sleep is better now. Or so you never want to do things, I'll try it, I'll see, right? We do it very seriously, almost scientifically. And because unfortunately you're very tired, it may be a little difficult, but try, for example, to print a gentle coin smell sheet that you put on the fridge. Every time you've done it, you put a check mark. And you can say, oh, we're good, I did 4. There is no overdose of pleasure. So if you do more, it's not a problem. So tell me, remind me, what are the things that you are going to do until he goes to bed so that things get better?
We are going to do some exercise up and down the stairs. We are going to have gentle touches throughout the day and as much as we can of start on his hands to arms and other parts of his body, and stop if he resists, not to make him upset. Ask permission. Then we are going to add food closer, an hour closer to bedtime. We're going to have smell oils on a tissue, not near his nose, show him how to smell and wait for him to want to sniff. We are going then to move on to soft touch with music into the bedroom after his bath. Yeah, and I think that's what, and the tissue and the pillow, the tissue under his pillow. And if he wakes up, nice soft touches, soft whispers, and sing to him.
Yes. One little detail, you may not have written it. When you lay with him, your back is to the wall, and you offer him your 2 arms so that he can slide under it. You exert a little bit of resistance so that he feels he's really getting what he needs. He feels he needs pressure. So just the weight of your arms is enough, a little bit of pressure with your hands, and gradually, over a period of a week, you're going to lift. And hopefully with this regimen that we have, I don't want to give you too much more. We're focusing on improving his serotonin function, so he's less stressed. He will have less anxiety when in bed. And we do a few things to help the quality of the sleep. I really want to hear about, within a week, what is going to happen. You tell me. And, I think that so many parents suffer this kind of, it's a tragedy because we don't all realize that the brain does not improve, does not grow if we don't sleep. So it's terrible for him and it's terrible for you. So that is the first thing we want to repair, even if, we would like him to talk, yes. No rush right now. Because learning and not sleeping is useless, basically. So we focus on sleep. Do you have a last question for me?
Yeah, just one little. On the webinar, you talked about sunshine is good for serotonin and dopamine. He doesn't like to be out in the sun. I have tried putting sunglasses on him or a hat, but he won't wear them. And yeah, he really hates the sun. If it's on the garden, he'll come inside. If I take him for a walk in the pram, unless I completely cover him over, he's just unhappy in the sunshine.
You can, it's another signal of something, definitely. In fact, sunshine is to create your own melatonin, which is part of the functions of sleep. Mm-hmm. So if he does not have an exposure because there is an issue within him that we don't know about yet, you may ask your pediatrician what would be a safe dosage to give him a little bit of melatonin until you're able to take him in the sun. But sun works also if you take a drive and he is sitting on the sun side.
Right.
You don't need to take 2 hours drive. 20-minute drive, and you make sure he's in the sunshine, it's going to work. Okay. Right. Just do it at the right time, toward the air conditioning, so now he doesn't cook. Poor little thing. I don't think English sun is cooking people.
No.
But yeah, if you caught, also playing in front of the window at noon when the sun is completely out, sunlight is what is good. And it's so good that only the exposure, not being outdoors, it's not part of the necessity. Some people use a fake sunlight to get the effect. But we have free sun, so let's use it. And either you take a ride, either you play right by the window.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I hope you will have a wonderful week, and things are going to shape and improve. Let go your love, your creativity as a mom. Now that you know what are the things that can help, you can introduce your own little things, and what works you would tell me, and we can move on and continue to build something that is for him and build on him. So for sure it's working, right?
Yes.
Well, thank you again. And
thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. I'm so grateful. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. I'm really happy. When I read your letter, and I could feel how desperate you were, and you can be. I mean, that's no sleep for anybody. Like, it's a terrible thing. So I was really glad to meet with you and to have this moment with you. So I wish you a wonderful week.
Thank you so much.
Tell me what happens and what gets better, okay?
Yes, I will. Thank you so much again. I look forward to speaking to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Yes, good night.